computer and freaking out the internet. Um, it's the government trying to silence us. That's what is happening. Gary, good. Glad you're here today, Gary. Bruce, all the way in Arizona, sounding good down there. Fran, good. Okay, we got it. All right, so we'll go ahead and start. Some of the people think they're too good for kid songs, so they may be along a little bit later. We don't care. We're here, and we're the right ones to be here. So let's grab this book here. This is I call it the kids book, but honestly, the interesting thing about the songs in this book are kids don't know any of these songs anymore. Where they're all growing up in a world of Disney. Their teachers are younger now, and their teachers probably didn't, for the most part, either. They don't like these songs, or they didn't grow up with them, and so a lot of kids these days just frankly aren't getting these songs at all. So when you're out teaching your grandkids or the next door kid or uh, just about anybody. You're giving them the gift of Americana, the old songs that we all used to know. And a lot of kids, honestly, I'm amazed how few kids know these songs. When I get a kid whose parents are sort of musical, they know all the songs. But for the most part, it's an opportunity for you to play some music. Not too hard that you probably know and can share that right off the bat. Let's see who else is logging in here. Jackie, how are you today? Good, you good. The sound is good. Vicky, I think I said hi to you. Thanks for being here. Um, so let's talk about why I use these four chords, A, F sharp minor, D, and E7, instead of what almost everybody gets taught these days first is C, A minor, F, and G. And forever I taught C, A minor, F, and G first as well. The reason I stopped doing that is C is great, right? C is it makes all of us happy. That's our home planet. That's where we like to live. Then we go to A minor, everything's going great. You go to F, everything's beautiful. And then within the first 10 minutes of teaching somebody, they're having to do this chord, right? That's the G chord. And it just ruins their day. And it's just really not something that I start with anymore. I've decided that that's just a really good way to get people frustrated right off the bat when you don't need to do that. So, yay. Hi, Elizabeth. So we want to switch our mindset that the C chord is the most important chord as instrumental players in the first place. C is just one of many chords that we play. As instrumentalists, we are going to need to be able to play in all of the keys, not really all of the keys, probably about 5 or 6 keys. We're going to have to be able to play, and A is one of those keys. And so I think of all of the ukulele keys going from F all the way around to A is by far the easiest to teach a new player how to do. And so we'll be talking about how you can attack this book if you're a new player and how to go through there and get the most benefit for you as a player out of it. But we're also going to spend a lot of time today talking about how to use this as a teaching tool, how to get other people playing this. By the way, this has been sitting on the Rocky Mountain Ukulele website for free for years now. Just go download it and go buy a ukulele for somebody and go sit them down and make sure that they know how to play. We're going to talk about just using it as a teaching tool and then as just a fun thing to strum, but also we're going to use those 4 chords, and I'll show you how music actually is put together. We're going to be doing a Christian Pisold piece, which we used to call a Bach piece, and it follows all the rules that I want to teach you about how music is put together, and that's what that A, F sharp minor, D, and E7. So those of you who are working kind of at that level and want to talk about music theory, we're going to give you about 2 minutes of that today. So let's see who else came in. Hi, Annie, welcome. Glad you're here. Judy, yeah, I'm hoping we fix the sound issue. We'll find out as we go along today. All right, let's get ukuleles in playing position. Remember, the back of this should always be up against your body. The neck should be at about a 60-degree angle from the floor. We don't want it down here. We really don't want it down there. Your pad of your thumb rides on the back of the neck, and we don't ever see your thumb, right? It kind of peeked up there. We don't ever want to see your thumb. And all of your fingers are going to go up here on the front of the fretboard. And hi, Kari, glad you can hear well. When you're sitting, when your thumb is hanging out back here, it's hanging out behind your middle finger. That's where your thumb's going to be all the time. Wherever your middle finger is, that's where your thumb is. And that's how we're going to play. Welcome, Lanny. Glad you're here. Now, A chord. There's your ukulele, index finger, third fret, first fret, third string. Let me use my words. And then middle finger is going to be second fret on the fourth string. Remember, your strings are numbered 1, 2, 3, 4. It's exactly the way opposite the way you wish it were. You get a nice A chord. Okay. That's what I teach everybody with. And then notice on the front page of your booklet, you have Frere Jacques and Three Blind Mice. They're both in the key of A. I almost always sing Frere Jacques because that's just what I do, but Three Blind Mice works just as well. You are going to be listening to me singing today, and I do apologize in advance. Are you sleeping? And we'll see if we can get it pretty good. If you are a brand new player, this is your strum. Thumb down, okay? And you strum where the neck and the body come together. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you're a next level player, I want you plucking this using these 4 fingers on all 4 strings. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And guys, if you're all that, thumb on the third string, index on the second string, middle finger on the first string, and then a 4-beat pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to give you, I think I'm going to do this pattern, and then I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, so you can just generally feel and hear the difference. If you are new to ukulele, just give a nice, beautiful strum as we sing it. And then the other one, of course, is your index finger down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. All of those strum patterns are legit, and all of those, and there's no right strum pattern in the world with a couple of exceptions. And so pick a pattern that works for you. We'll sing Frere Jacques in English, and then we'll go right on and we'll sing it again in French. And so when we get to the French parts, change your strum pattern. Do something different the second time around. Remember, you're sitting in your bedroom or your kitchen somewhere. You're the only one there. Nobody's going to make fun of you. Do something crazy, right? Make some mistakes. 1, R, 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 R. 1, 2, ready, play. Are you sleeping? Are you sleeping? Brother John, Brother John. Morning bells are ringing, morning bells are ringing, ding, dang, dong, ding, dang, dong. Again, Frere Jacques, Frere Jacques, dormez-vous, dormez-vous. Sonne les matines, ding, dang, dong, ding, dang, dong. Never let up on your chord until the ukulele stops singing. Just let that thing ring out, and you're going to sound more professional, and let the ukulele do as much work as you can. If you are a singer, you don't have to worry overly about learning how to play tablature, which is exactly what we do here, but you still want to get as much advantage out of the ukulele as possible. You're not here by accident. You like this instrument and you'd like it to really accentuate your voice. And so when you're done with the song, just be mindful not to yank your chord up. Just let the ukulele ring completely out. On some of the other instruments, we'll actually slide our hand up here to stop it from ringing out. But on this instrument, you don't have to worry about that. It will stop soon enough, and you're in good shape. That's your A chord. Okay. Important chord in ukulele. The A key of A is one of those things that we use quite a bit, and so I want you to get good at it. Now, let's talk about on the front page here of your chord chart. Let's skip F sharp minor for right now, and then let's talk about D. Okay, so D major is your next one. If you're sitting here at A, hanging on to the A, and you're ready to go to D, let's get my thumb out of there because somebody will send me a text saying I saw your thumb. Let's get your A chord there. To create the D, your index finger dives up over here. Okay, and generally you're going to keep it more toward the back of the fret. Then your middle finger is going to drop on right underneath there, and your ring finger is going to drop on right underneath there. So you have 1, 2, 3. Okay, now My ukulele is a concert-sized ukulele today, and it's not big enough for me, and that's why my fingers are really squishing in there. Now, I've been playing this a little while, so I'll probably be fine. But if you're finding that, man, my fingers don't fit in that fret at all, you probably have too small of a ukulele. What you need to do is think about if you are an adult and you have more or less normal-sized hands, normal. I'm not supposed to use that word. You should be playing a tenor ukulele. That's basically it. Now, if your fingers are shorter, a concert size is fine. If you've got real small hands, then might be thinking about a soprano ukulele. But for the most part, adults should be playing tenor ukuleles. It's not unusual for me to sell concerts to people, but it is pretty unusual for me to sell sopranos to people. It's usually, little tiny people, little tiny hands get sopranos. What you want to be thinking about is if you're having a hard time getting all those in there, probably need to upsize your ukulele. The other thing is if you're a guy, and some women with really, really big diameter fingers, that direction, you might, even if you go to a tenor ukulele, not have enough space. And in that case, you can make an adjustment. You can put your index finger, instead of on this string, put it on this string, and then put your middle finger up above and your ring finger down below. And if I'm not mistaken, Lanny, who joined us today, I think that's how he does his D chord. So just to get a little bit more room in the space there. It's not ideal. It makes changing some of your chords a little bit harder down the road, but it's fine. It's an okay solution. And so you will want to work it that way. Okay, that's ideal. All right, you got your D chord on. If you were plucking before, try your arpeggios. If you were strumming before with just your thumb, try your index finger, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. I'm going to do those two. I'm going to do this one first time through, and then I'm going to do this one. Okay. We actually will just play row, row, row your boat. We'll do it one time through. 1, 2, 3, 4. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Row, row, row your boat right across the lake. Don't stand up and rock the boat, oh, that's a big mistake. I messed it up. Let's do it again. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Don't stand up and rock the boat, oh, that's a big mistake. Okay. If you are new to ukulele, I have to teach you a technique called tremolo. Okay. Every song, when you go to a ukulele strum along, every single song is going to end with a tremolo. The way you make that is you leave your palm open and bend this index finger down just like that. Okay. When you get ready to do your tremolo, you always stop strumming a beat or two early to get yourself in position, and then, oh, that's a big mistake. And notice I'm not going from the elbow. It's all in the wrist. And that's your tremolo. And then what I like to say is the Eddie Van Halen finish. Okay. And that some of you know who Eddie Van Halen is, some of you don't. Just big finish on the end. But most of these ukulele strum-alongs I've been to, that's how every single song ends. It's just a goofy thing we do. It's kind of fun. And so practice that one a little bit. And we got a couple songs we'll probably run through today that include that. All right. Notice in your book, the songs that you're working on have red headlines or the names in red. Those are one chord songs. Okay. So that's what you start everybody with when you're first teaching them how to strum and how to sing. Well, you may teach them how to sing. You may just say, here's the songs we are going to sing. Here's how you strum. Use the red headlines first just to get them comfy with those shapes. All right. Last song I like to do, and the kids adore this song for some reason. It's called Lime and a Coconut. Some of you will remember it because you are a certain age. Others of you have never heard this song. Probably stopped getting played widely about 6 weeks after it came out, but for 6 weeks it was awesome. Oh, hey, Diane. Welcome. Glad you're here today. All right. We're going to go to E7. That's our next chord on your list. Okay, we're sitting here at D. To get to E7, this is why this is easier to teach than a G chord. You're in D, slide this finger back 1 fret, and then drop your finger 1 fret. And now you're in E7. Okay, that's it. That's how you make an E7. Okay, if I have to put it on by itself, index finger on the top, 1st fret, middle finger 1 string down, 2nd fret, ring finger bottom string, 2nd fret. Okay. Barbara, welcome. Hi, Patty. Okay, so now there's your E7. Donna's headed out. I don't know where she's going. I hope she's going out to get, oh, she's going for a walk. I hope she's going to bring back ice cream. All right, so now we've got that E7 on. We're going to play Lime and a Coconut. Usually at this point, you know, here we are. What are we in? About 10 minutes of learning how to play ukulele. At this point, usually kids and students are just fine with, oh, E7, I can do that. That's not a problem. So much easier and faster than teaching the C major progression. So this is just one of those things where, yep, I'm going to start doing it this way. That way you get them playing within 10 minutes, and that's what they want. That's what you want. Everybody's happy. Okay. All right. Let's play Lime and a Coconut. Notice that down in the 2nd verse, I've got doctor written in bold. When I teach little kids how to play this, I say, all right, when we get to doctor, I want you to go, doctor, and really yell it out. And if you got about 10 kids in the room, they're going to start, each doctor will get louder and louder and louder, and it's really fun. Okay. Now, those of you who know the song will know. That's how he does a very fancy arpeggio picking pattern, and you should try to come up with your own fancy arpeggio picking pattern for this. I'm going to give you this, okay? But you find your right-hand method that makes the most sense to you. From the top, 1, 2, 3. My brother bought a coconut, bought it for a dime. My sister had another one and spent it on a lime. You put the lime in the coconut, shake it all up. You put the lime in the coconut, drink it all up. You put the lime in the coconut, then you'll perk on up. Called the doctor, woke him up, and here is what I said. I said, doctor, ain't there nothing I can take? I said, doctor, to relieve this bellyache. I said, doctor, ain't there nothing I can take? You put the lime in the coconut, drink them both together. Put the lime in the coconut, then you'll feel much better. Put the lime in the coconut and call me in the morning. That's how we do that. Okay, so again, I started off with a straight down strum, and then I thought, it's kind of boring. I'm going to add in an up and a down. Okay, when you wander the internet, they're going to talk about strum patterns. The singers that teach this stuff cannot help themselves. They don't. That's some addiction that they have of talking strum patterns. The only strum patterns that I'm aware of that you need to know are if you have a low G ukulele and you can sing as well as Israel Kamaka'aole, there is an actual strum pattern that he uses on Somewhere Over the Rainbow. 1, you probably don't have a low G ukulele, and 2, you probably can't sing like him. So why are you even trying? Come up with your own strum pattern for that song. It'll be way better than what he did. And the other one is George Formby, who's a banjolele player in England in the vaudeville era into about the 50s. He had a very particular type of strumming pattern than he did, and there are entire clubs in England dedicated just to that guy. So those are strum patterns that are probably right. Other than that, you're the artist. Let yourself decide what you want to do. Don't let somebody tell you what else to don't let somebody tell you how to play your ukulele, except for me. Let me tell you. All right, let's go to page. Let's go to page. What page is it on? Well, this sort of used to be in alphabetical order, and doesn't seem to be in alphabetical order anymore. Let's see. Why don't we do? Did I pull London Bridges out of this? Oh my gosh, I guess I did. Oh no, page 10. There it is. Let's go to page 10. I haven't been teaching London Bridges forever. I was surprised I couldn't find it. Let's go to page 10. Now, guys, when you're new, this is a really handy thing. You pull your chord sheet and put that over on one side, and then you put your song on the other side. And that way you have a reference, right? Just when you're first year learning, you should have these chords memorized by the end of today, and you won't need that anymore. But that's a handy feature of this very fascinating book. Notice all of your songs that have 2 chords in them or have green headlines. All of the songs that have 3 chords in them have blue headlines, and then there's a couple of songs in here that have purple, and those have all 4 chords. We're going to talk about all 4 chords here in just a minute before we move on to Minuet Suite in G today. All right, London Bridges, falling down. You're going to go from A chord to E7. To get there, be thoughtful about it. Don't try to hope for the best. Here's how you're going to do it. Index fingers going up, middle fingers going down, ring fingers jumping on. That's E7. To get back, lose the ring finger. Sorry, I told it to you backwards. Here you're at E7. Drop your index finger, move your middle finger up, and lose the ring finger. Okay. So we're always chasing our index finger. If you watch me switch, and I don't even really think about it anymore. Watching, you can see my index finger is absolutely taking the lead every single time. I didn't think that through necessarily until years later of watching students struggle with it, and I thought, well, what do I do? And I'm chasing my index finger all over this place. If you can get your index finger in the right place, the rest of your chord will jump on. And so that's a really, really effective way to get yourself to be a faster strummer. Get that question all the time. Hey man, I can't strum as fast as the songs go by. You will if you can get your index finger onto the right fret and the right string, and then your other 2 fingers are just going to learn to obey based on whatever chord you're trying to get to. Bob, how are you? I'm glad you're here for the Minuet. We'll get started in just a minute. Am I doing a new classical piece every day? Question is, am I doing a new classical piece every day? For the next 4 days, we're doing classical music every single day. I don't know what's going to happen after that. Let's see. Mike, welcome. Sound is better with an IPA. Everything's better with an IPA. Nice. Kathy, welcome. Deborah, welcome. All right. That's our plan. Get from A. I'm just thinking about, I think I am better with an IPA, just spending time around me. Probably 2 shots of whiskey, and I'm a way better guy than I am typically. All right, we're going to play London Bridges. I did rewrite the ending years ago. You're supposed to say, take the key and lock her up, lock her up, lock her up, take the key and lock her up, my fair lady, at the end. That seems so negative. So we changed it, me and some kids in one of the classes, we just changed it to take the key and have some tea, which, by the way, I think is far more British, and I think it should be the official change for this song. So I went to motorcycle. Hope you can hear that I'm not just being weird. That's my life around here. Okay, we're gonna go from A to E7 to A. Biggest piece of advice I can give to you if you're a new strummer: get your chord on and then look and see what the next chord is, and be ready by the time that chord shows up. If you can't strum everything, that's fine. If I only can strum once, London Bridges falling down, falling down. If that's what I have to do, if I can only have time to strum once, just strum once. Get that chord on when it's time to time to hit that for the first time. That's the biggest thing that I notice in my classes is, and frankly in myself, is I get my chord on and I'd like to strum it for a little while, and I'll fall asleep on that chord. And so be mindful that, hey, I'm on this chord, but I got stuff coming up right away, and my next chord's an E7. I want to be on that chord by the time Gary starts to sing the words. And I call it falling asleep on a chord. Most of it, and it happens to me all the time when I'm going to strum along, blah, blah, blah. Oh, crud, I'm supposed to be on this other chord. So I rush around and get that chord on. Then I find out I'm still supposed to already have moved on to the next chord, right? So don't let whoever's doing the singing do the singing. Your job as the instrumentalist is to make sure your beat is steady and that your chord is on at the right moment. That's a big deal, okay? All right, let's give it a try. 1, 2, ready, play. London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down. London Bridge is falling down. My fair lady, build it up with silver and gold, silver and gold. Silver and gold, build it up with silver and gold. My fair lady, take the key and have some tea, have some tea, have some tea. Take the key and have some tea. My fair lady. That's what you're working on right there. Play through the whole book. Do all of the 2-chord songs. On Simple Gifts is different. It's in D and A, but other than that, they're all A and E7. You can get really good at just playing that chord pair. Super important for you. Let's grab one of the 3-chord songs. We'll run through that one real quick. Oh heck, what do you want to do? Let's do. I'm bringing home a baby bumblebee. Go to page 8. Go to page 8. Let's do that one. In this book, I actually like every single one of the 3-chord songs. I think they're all super fun and to play with. I think if you're looking for serious things to make you sound really good, Danny Boy is a home run. If you're happy and you know it, I think people love that song. I'm bringing home a baby bumblebee. I've been working on a railroad. Those are all super nice 3-chord songs that are fun to play. On Top of Spaghetti is absolutely a brilliant piece of music. This Little Light of Mine. So there's quite a bit of good stuff in here. You Are My Sunshine on the back is also real nice. Let's play page 10. I'm sorry, page 8. I'm bringing home a baby bumblebee. We're going to use all 3 songs, 3 chords. Then we're going to talk very briefly about how to use this as a top-level musician because sometimes I have musicians who are at that top level where they're playing at such a high level that they're playing way better than I play. And they get a little stuck because they haven't figured out quite that composing is really the top level. And so we're going to talk about how to take advantage of these 4 chords and this instrument in particular and really turn it into something magical. All right, I'm bringing home a baby bumblebee. I don't know if we'll do every verse. If I decide to skip, we will. But this one was, I think my wife sang it in her sorority or something. She's the one who introduced this to me. 1, 2, 3. I'm bringing home a baby bumblebee. Won't my mommy be so proud of me? I'm bringing home a baby bumblebee. Ouch! He bit me. I'm squishing up my baby bumblebee. Won't my mommy be so proud of me? I'm squishing up my baby bumblebee. Ew, it's on me. I'm licking off my baby bumblebee. Won't my mommy be so proud of me. I'm licking off my baby bumblebee. In the age of coronavirus, we're not supposed to lick, but gulp. Oh, he's inside me. I'm barfing up my baby bumblebee. Won't my mommy be so proud of me? I'm barfing up my baby bumblebee. Blah! Oh, what a mess. I'm wiping off my baby bumblebee. Won't my mommy be so proud of me? I'm wiping off my baby bumblebee. Look, all clean. All right, so that's how that goes. Again, goofy little songs, but the skill set, right? Getting from all these chords from one chord to the other. All right, very quickly. We only have a minute. It's 5:03 already. Jeez, time goes fast. Lay this in front of you. Okay. Generally speaking, when we talk about ukulele players, we're doing two things. One, you bought it off of Amazon. You're trying to figure out your chords and sing. Then you meet me, and I try to get you to stop doing chords and singing, and I try to get you to actually play the instrument. Okay, and then you get really good at playing the instrument. You can play with ensembles, and you play with chord melody arrangements, and you get with other ukulele players, and you're playing at this really high level, and you think, yeah, I'm the bee's knees, and then you start teaching it, and you think, yep, that's as high as it can go. Once you become an instrumental ukulele teacher, you're the boss. There's another level, okay, and it's the Beethoven level. Beethoven had about 80 guys in his orchestra, and you don't know any of their names because those guys were brilliant musicians, but they weren't the composer. And that's the difference between Bach and Beethoven and Mozart. They were the composers. They were surrounded by musicians who were as good or better than them in many cases. And we don't know their names because they didn't write. And so here's what I want you to start thinking about. If you're some instrumental musician, you're hanging out here, there's 44 of you right at the moment. You're thinking, I want to play Bach. No, you don't. You want to be Bach. And what you want to do is start with those four chords. I think they're brilliant. Okay, let's go through them in this order. We're going to first play the A minor, or the A, then the F sharp minor, then the D, and then the E7. I'm going to teach you how to be Rudy Valley here really quickly. Okay, A chord. Okay, A chord. To get to F sharp minor, you're going to just add your ring finger. Okay, beautiful chord on ukulele. I'm going to switch my index and middle to get to a D chord, and then I'm going to slide into my E7 that we worked on earlier, and then I'm going to come back to A. Now, these are the same four chords that most guitar players know. There are not enough ukulele players are comfortable with this chord progression, but it is this 1-4-5 chord progression. So if I hold up my hand and I put A here, that would put B here, that would put C here, that puts D, that's one of your chords here. It's going to put E, that's one of your chords here, and then hanging out over here on its own is F sharp minor. That's so the 1, the 4, the 5, and the 6 are very important chords in Western music, and every single Western composer uses this system. This system is flawless. It will work every time. Whatever chord is on 1, we'll have a buddy on 4 and 5 and 6. So if I put C here, that makes this D, E. I've got F, G, and A minor. So C, F, G, and A minor, and those, I promise you, those four chords will sound amazing together. If I put D here, E, F, G is his friend, A is his friend, and B minor over here is his friend. That four chord pattern works absolutely perfectly all of the time. And once you get that, then you should, with your ukulele, sit down and write a song in every one of those keys that you can play. So in this case, you know you can play this. Let's run through it. We're going to sound exactly like we just stepped into 1950. I want you to give me 4 beats of each of those, okay? 1, 2, ready, play. A, 2, 3, 4, F sharp, 2, 3, 4, and D, 2, 3, 4, and E, 2, 3, and 4. dum 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 da 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 bum 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 ba da da bum ba da bum bum ba da da. A 2 3 and F sharp minor and D da ba da and D7 ba da ba. And I learned to play music with 4 chords. When I got real old, I was playing those same 4 chords: A, F sharp minor, and D, and D7. Let's finish on A. Okay. When you get those 4 chords and you put them in that pattern, it works great. If I wanted to make it an instrumental, I would probably be thinking, I want to start at least thinking about the arpeggio pattern. A, F sharp minor, D, E7. I could sing over these same 4 chords and I sound like I really know what I'm doing. Okay. If you have never tried writing a song, go grab these 4 chords, write any dumb words you want to it, and make yourself happen. Okay. We have the opportunity really to change ukuleleism by being decent instrumentalists, turning off our voice if we can, and using chords to our benefit that we don't have a chance often when we're playing other people's music. Like, you can take those 4 chords and turn them into whatever song you got. 34 songs made with those 4 chords. And so I would say, generally speaking, when you start writing music, you suddenly become much more in command of your instrument, your voice, your ideas, what you're willing and not willing to do in music. And so give it some thought. I know a bunch of you on this list, a bunch of you guys I know, and several of you have already started tackling songwriting. That's the top level, guys. We know when we know that the people that you know in music are the composers, not necessarily the musicians. So be thinking about becoming one. That's the top level. That's as good as it gets. Okay. Plus, once you get into that, it's really addicting and really, really hard to stop. It's just like the ukulele itself, right? All right. That's enough on those ones. Here we go. Minuet Suite, Part 1. Okay. The Minuet Suite I'm going to get you has 4 parts. This is part 1. We'll do part 2 tomorrow, part 3 the next day, part 4 the next day, whatever day that ends up on. We're going to just do all of these, and it's going to be turn you into last week or earlier this week or at some point in the near past. We did For Elise, and we did what else we do? Ode to Joy. So you've got 2 really, really solid Beethoven pieces. Now I'm going to give you a really solid Baroque piece. This piece sounds like Baroque music. It sounds amazing. And I think it's one of those things where we really can make ourselves next level players, okay, without necessarily knowing that much. Okay, so if you're here and you're at this higher level, I'm going to assume that you can read tablature. Okay, that's an assumption I'm going to make for you. And Pagabell. We'll go. I got a Pagabell arrangement. We'll think about it. So we are going to be playing first. We're just going to play the first few measures of this on this ukulele line here, ukulele melody line. Okay, and I gave you the melody line, and I gave you the tough uke line, and I gave you the what should I say? The melody, the standard notation is the same on both lines. I didn't put the chords in there because it got super just ugly really fast. And so what I'd like to do is just play the first 4 measures or so you can make sure you're doing fine with that. And then we'll run through the tough uke. Okay. So on the top line, you got a 5 on the first string. Bum. Then you're going to have a 3, 0, 2, 3 coming up next. And then you got this 5 and then 2 3s. Okay, now we're going to go up to 7. And I notice when I get to that 7 that I've got down to 3 and up to 10. So that's my spread. Okay, that's where I'm going to be, and so I'm probably going to finger it like this on ukulele. I would never do this on guitar because it's just too far to reach, but I'm probably going to be able to reach this on my ukulele. You can probably reach from 3 to 10, probably. So I'd recommend we put that 7 in with our ring finger there. Okay, so let's try that. 7, 3, 5, 7, 9, 10, 3, 3. Okay, and those of you guys have been hanging around with me all week, and you're like, well, wait a minute, Gary, you always say 1, 2, 3, 4 here. Once you start going up the neck, you got to be really wise and really thoughtful about how am I going to strategize around this. What you don't want to do, which is what I do all the time, is start chasing my pinky all around up here, hoping against hope that I get it onto the right fret. It does not work, you guys. I've been doing it for years. I've got a lot of experience and failure in this instrument. And so what you really want to think about is, hey, I'm going to put my ring finger on that 7. That's going to allow me to play the 3, the 5, the 7, and I'm going to reach the 9 and 10 with my pinky. I think that will do you some good. Let's see. Yes, Pachelbel. How about Debussy? How, yeah. Pachelbel, Debussy. How about some Rachmaninoff for ukulele? All right, so I'll get you stuff. Don't worry. All right, now let's play that first 4 measures. In fact, let's play into. Let's play for a little while. Okay, let's just see how far we go until things get weird. Okay, start with in first position, pinky on 5 from the very top. 1, 2, 3. Oh, it is in 3. Let me count to 3 and go. 1, 2, 3. 5, 3, 0, 2, 3, 5. 3, 3, 7, 3, 5, 7, 9, 10, 3, 3, 3, 5, 3, 2, 0, 2, 3, 2, 0, 3, 2, 3, 0, 2, 3, 2, 0, 5, 3, 2, 5, 3, 0, 2, 3, 5, 3, 3, 7, 3, 5, 7, 9, 10, 3, 3, 3, 5, 3, 2, 0, 2, 3, 2, 0, 3, 0, 2, 0, 3, 2, 3, 5, 3. Played the whole thing. That sounded pretty nice. Always like this piece. Oh, by the way, Susan, we have 4 more parts of this piece. It's going to be a blast. By the time you get this done, you're going to be very, very legit on ukulele. Okay, you're already super legit. Don't worry about it. If you're here, you're legit. You're not here on accident. The people who logged in, so live ukulele, and they went, oh, I don't know what he's talking about, and they ejected, right? So you guys that are here, you're the ones that are going to make this happen. You're the ones changing the world for the better. Let's go back and play it one more time through. See if you can. Hopefully, you can get every single note. If you're struggling with it, know that this is a hard piece. You're going to have to practice. You're going to have to spend some time practicing with it. I think the hardest part, of course, is just getting my finger onto the right frets there on that harder part. The other thing is at measure 8. It's a weird transition. You've got an 8th note followed by a quarter note, bottom. And then you immediately go up into this decorative feeling of bum, bum, bum. So make sure when you get to 8 would probably be the part that I would need to spend the most time myself working on that to get the rhythm correct. And so just be aware that's a pretty hard spot. And as I always do, on the website, the MP3 is right over there in the widget up here on the top. For you guys, it's over here on the top, this side. There's a widget over there with all of the music that you can just sit and listen to it. I think you can even download it. I'm pretty sure you can. And listen to the song a few times so that while you're looking at the sheet music, and you'll see, oh, yeah, I get how that works. Okay, let's play from the top. 1, 2, 3, 5, 3, 0, 2, 3, 5, 3, 3, 7, 3, 5, 7, 9, 10, 3, 3, 3, 5, 3, 2, 0, 2, 3, 2, 0, 3, 2, 3, 0, 2, 3, 2, 0, 5, 3, 2, 5, 3, 0, 2, 3, 5, 3, 3, 7, 3, 5, 7, 9, 10, 3, 3, 3, 5, 3, 2, 0, 2, 3, 2, 0, 3, 0, 2, 0, 3, 2, 3, 5, 3. Okay. Sounds, if you're new to finger picking, if you're new to reading tablature, that's easily 3 or 4 days worth of just focusing on that. This is a lot of work here, and it's very advanced fingering. So just know if you're struggling with that, you should be struggling with that. Next thing that I would mention is make sure you're reading repeats correctly and doing them in practice. So at home, you start on measure 0, play through blah 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 blah, get to measure 16. You go back to measure 1, and then you come back down. When you get the second time through, play 15. Don't play 16. Play 17. And so 17 and 16 look identical except for one thing. There's a fermata sitting on that very last note in 17. And so what you're going to be playing is 3, 5, 3, and then you're really going to hold on to that note for as long as the ukulele can possibly give it to you. And so just remember when you are doing your repeats that I think practicing them at home is something that will do you a lot of good. In a lot of times in lessons, we skip over repeats, we blow through them, we don't talk about them. I do, but when I took piano lessons, I took 10 years of piano lessons. I don't think we ever did a single repeat ever. So that's not ideal. We really want to get comfortable reading those, especially if you're going to be playing with other people. Those repeats they're going to be using those, and you want to be comfortable with them as well. All right, so that is how you play it melodically, right? I gave you the chords on this one, not because you're going to sing and strum it, but because those chords are going to at least give you some help in playing the tough uke line, not all of the help. The other thing is if you have a friend and they're like, yeah, I would love to play some classical music on ukulele. You play the melody and they play those chords. And I gave the simple chord forms up above there so that you can play a nice duet with your friend. Frankly, you can Zoom people and do that right now. Say, oh, hey, my friend in Tunisia, you have a ukulele. Let's get on Zoom and let's play together. And there's always a tiny bit of a lag, so it turns out to be quite a bit harder than you thought. I'm going to be working with one of our groups tonight on a Zoom thing. We're going to see if we can't get it perfect through even with the internet and sound lag and see what happens. But they're going to be playing this nice, even, steady chord thing. And you're going to be playing the melody, and it's a fun way to get together with people, even over this. Now, all right, now let's talk about the tough uke. Those of you who are at that level, you know exactly what you're looking at. You know that this is a reasonably doable piece, with one exception. At measure 4, you've got, and that repeats itself down at measure 12, you've got that crazy G chord all the way up on 10. And if Bach had owned a ukulele, he would not have written the song this way. It's a really, really challenging thing. I gave you the alternate chord shape up there on the upper left hand of your paper, but you're going to go all the way down to 10 and put a B flat on is what you're going to do. That's what you're doing. Measure fret 10 in middle ring. Okay, so if B flat here isn't hard enough, now we're going to do it on fret 10. Okay, that's what you're looking for right there. Okay, so that's when you get to it, just be ready. You've got to get there, and then you've got to come back and hit those two. So you're going to do everything you can to make this clean. That's what you're going to work on in measure 4 and measure 12. I worked on it for an hour this morning, and it's doable. It's not easy. Okay, measure 1. G chord, pinky up. Okay, play. 3, 0, 2, 3, and I'm probably going to use my pinky to get that 3. I'm probably going to have it on 5, slide it back to 3. Okay, let's do that first measure again. Ready? Play. Strum 3, 0, 2, 3. Am I going to use my pinky there? Maybe not. I think I'm going to use my ring. I'm going to use my ring to cover both of those because I want my 5 to be available. Let's try it again from the top. Go. Strum 3, 0, 2, 3. Strum 3, 3. All the way to 7. Strum 3, 5, 7, 9. And a big fancy G. Okay, right there. Now, guys, if this is going to ruin the song for you, don't do the whole chord. You can just play the note, that 10. That's all that matters. So if I go 7, 3, 5, 7, 9, 10, 3, 3, right? 3, 3. If you can't get the chord on, and a lot of you can't, okay, it's pretty hard, then just do the 10, and then go get your 2 3s. So you make the choice on that as to what you want to do. I would say if you've got a decent ukulele and you got the right size for your hand, if you can pull that off, you're a genius, right? You're already a genius, but now you can prove it. Okay, let's go on to measure 5. I got a bar chord with a 3 on the top, and let's play for a little while. 5, 3, 2, oh, G chord. Strum 3, 2, 0, 3. Weird G chord. 3, 0, 2, 3. G, O. Let's go to the 5. 5, 3, 2. Back to the G chord with your pinky. Strum 3, 0, 2, 3. G chord with your pinky. Strum 3, 3. Here's that fun 7 again. 7, 3, 5, 7, 9. B flat chord. 3, 3. 5, 3, 2, oh, G chord. 3, 2, oh, 3. Easy D7. 2, oh, 3, 2. G, 5, G. And then we play it again. Tough U part is cool. Burke, is that you or is that Michael? I think Michael would say it's cool. I think Burke would say, "Oh, this is the worst thing ever." It's in between, right? It's pretty cool and it's also pretty hard. All right, let's play it together. We'll try and play it at a time. Before I let you guys go today, it's already 5:25. They want me to tell you to subscribe and to thumbs up me if you have a second, or I don't know, thumbs down me if you think I'm terrible. It's Michael. I figure Michael would be like, yeah. Remember, Jolly Roger Ukulele, I'm going to be posting something every day this week. We're going to go through this whole Minuet suite, and we're also doing the beginner stuff, the easier stuff, first thing in the lesson, and then later in the lesson we'll be carrying this Minuet suite thing all the way through the week. We're going to do all 4 sections of it, and then on the last day of the week, or whatever the next day is, we'll try to put the whole darn song in together. It's a lot of challenge for me because I got to get it perfect by then, and or as close to perfect as you can get music, and you can sit at home quietly and make all the mistakes you want. So it's a different burden than I'm facing on that one. So maybe we'll play the whole thing all the way through, and maybe we'll just mess it up. But the idea is to give you all 4 sections of Minuet, and it's nice. It's going to be a really nice final product. But just give it to you one page at a time. I know how ukulele players are. It's like, oh gosh, give me all the paper. Give me all the paper. Give it all to me right now. Give me. And then they put it in a notebook, and then it just sits on the shelf, right? So let's really focus in. This part of the song is just the beginning of 4 more parts, and you'll have a really nice piece that you can play as a solo ukuleleist, and you will impress your friends and neighbors. And if you haven't gotten on to the widget where you put your name in there to get emails, please do that. If you've already gotten an email from the Rocky Mountain Ukulele Orchestra, then you're on the email list and you don't need to put any more else in there. Let's see. I've got some few questions here. Had so much again. Thanks again. Good tips. Thanks, Renee. Don't run away yet. We're going to play it through one more last time. For measures 4 and 12, can you just play the bottom 3 strings? And yeah, absolutely, Vicky, absolutely. Anything you got to do to make that a little bit easier. So what she's asking is, can I do just 10s and 11s? Yeah, heck yeah, do it, right? This makes it, you're probably going to mess that up a little bit. Just do 11, 11, 10, 10. It'll sound beautiful. And Elizabeth, measure 7, you have tried D chord, measure 8, last thing, measure 7. 7. Oh, it's not really a D chord, Elizabeth. It's a passing tone. So measure 7, it looks like a D chord underneath there. It's just it's a messed up G chord. It's a passing tone. I spent all morning trying to figure out if that was right, and it is what I think. And to my ear, anyway, it's right. So yeah, I agree. I understand. Danny, good to see you. Thanks for everything. So it would be 0, 11, 10, 10. Yes, 0, 11, 0, 11, 10, 10. Absolutely, that is correct. Or just the 2 10s. That's Bob's idea. Right, that works too, right? So make your life easy. Make it fun to play this. All right, we're gonna play through the whole thing. We're gonna play it just one time through. So we're gonna play it from the very top. We're gonna skip measure 16 when we get there, and we're gonna wrap it up on the end. Okay, so we'll wrap it up on 17. Get your G chord on. Put your pinky on. This is our grand finale. Let's see how we do. 1, 2, 3. Let me apologize. My eyeball. You ever have your eyeballs? You're right on the line, and you're like, "Yep, I know where I'm at." You look down to do your thing, you look back up, and your eyeball's on a different line. Has that ever happened to any of you? Let's start from the top. From the very top. I apologize. 1, 2, 3. There you go. That's what we're after. Not a perfect rendition, but yours is going to be better. And that will lead very naturally into part B of the G major part. And we'll play through that tomorrow. And then the next day, we'll play through the beginning part of the G minor section. And then after that, the subsequent section, end of the G minor. And then at the end of the week, we'll try putting it all, the whole shebang together. So hopefully you can try to make it to each session this week. If you can't, please come back and listen to the videos. I'm posting them, and now that the sound's better, hopefully we'll be just fine going forward to listen to those and really get the lessons. This should be fun. I hope it'll be fun. It'll be a reason to not turn on the news this week. That's what we're after, right? So have a wonderful week, wonderful night, you guys, and I'm going to get off to the Denver Guitar Orchestra lesson. So that's if you need to aggravate yourself further, it's denverguitarorchestra.com. I'll do the same thing with their stuff over there. And have a wonderful night and play a lot of ukulele and just stay inside and do whatever you do and drive your family bananas with some Bach. It's actually Christian Petzold, and we'll have a great day. Have a wonderful, wonderful afternoon, you guys. Thanks, Kat. Glad you came. How nice of you. Made our whole day better. Yeah, we need anything to make our day better, right? You guys have a wonderful day. I'm going to end the stream here. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you. You're welcome. Have a wonderful day. Get off the internet and go do something awesome. Have a great day. Thanks, guys. Ending the stream.